used this phrase yesterday about starting points for perhaps changing many researcher attitude towards ethics. And the phrase I used, and I'm sure it's not mine, I'm sure I'm borrowing it or stealing it from somebody else, and it was, at least in terms of that ethics education in science education has to be something really substantial. And it's not. I mean, I think in some places it might be, but it's not. In general, it seems fairly superficial. So NIH requires, 8 hours of research integrity training for people on certain kinds of training grants and so on and so forth. Well, at least they're saying you should be doing this, having some discussion about research integrity. But you basically have 12 subjects being dealt with in 8 hours. You know, maybe some places expand that to some extent, but that's the minimum. Well, you know, this has to do with not just knowing about compliance and, you know, how to do things right and, you know, by the law and the regulations, as important as that is, and it is important. You need more time where you can hold up a mirror to yourself as a human being and ask questions about, do you have a goal for a moral identity? Do I want to be a moral person, and what does that mean? You know, it's kind of like what Ed Pellegrino used to say all the time. Ethics isn't a hobby. It's about coming to grips with your moral identity. And I think it's tough outside of that possibility of having that kind of open educational experience and people who are capable of doing it. In the 19th century, who would give an ethics lecture at a university? It would be the university president, because you would want the most highly revered person to be teaching ethics. And now it seems to me to be gravitating to a much more who's willing to do it. Anybody here willing to take on this course? And there's some people who take it on and they mean it and they work damn hard with it. But I think there's not a lot of room for it in science education. So we have to get the PH back in the PhD, as I said yesterday. After all, we were supposed to be philosophers as well, to get these advanced degrees in medicine and in science. I think absent that, I think we're going to be pretty mediocre.